everyone, and welcome back to All About Steph 1 with me, Steph, and today I am back for the first video of 2021, and we're going to be talking prize money distribution in Formula 1. So, this is what the teams were reportedly earning as a result of their 2020 Constructors Championship standings. And as we can see, Ferrari is right at the top, as it usually is, and Williams is down at the bottom. And this is quite similar to the stuff we've seen from the prize distribution for the last couple of years. Firstly, I think it's really evident why the midfield teams were battling so hard, especially towards the end of the season, because a few differences in points can result in differences in money of millions of pounds or dollars. As we know, there was a big fight in the Constructors Championship between McLaren, Racing Point and Renault, and this was for P3 in the championship, and McLaren ended up securing that, and as a result, they got prize money of $108 million. In comparison, Racing Point in P4 only earned $100 million and Renault $92 million. I actually think that the way the prize money is shared out between the teams, I think it's quite fairly done, with Mercedes earning $124 million for being the winners, and quite clearly the winners, in comparison to the $53 million that Williams was earning as a result of finishing dead last with no points. Some might say it's harsh, but I think it just makes the battles on track all that more interesting when you know they're fighting for millions of dollars worth of prize money, which could definitely affect how the standings change for the next season. So basically, I have no sort of issues with the prize money for actually finishing where you finish in the Constructors Championship. However, I do have an issue with the historical bonuses and the special bonus that Ferrari gets in particular. So, my issue with the historical bonuses stems from the fact that there's no continuity as to who gets them and why and how much money everyone gets. What is really baffling to me is that a team like McLaren or a team like Williams can earn so much less than a team like Red Bull in terms of historical bonuses when they've been around and they've contributed so much more in terms of the history and legacy of Formula 1. For Williams to only earn $6 million in historical bonuses and McLaren to only earn $7 in historical bonuses, in comparison to Red Bull, which is earning $16 million in historical bonuses, that's not fair to me. Those first two teams have been around in Formula 1 for 50, 60 years. That's a long time. And Red Bull has been here for 20 years. That doesn't sit right with me, and I would like to see a much bigger chunk of the prize money go to teams like McLaren and Williams, who have been in Formula 1 for many, many years, and overall have contributed more than Red Bull has in its short period of time. That's to me what a historical bonus should be about, not necessarily about giving a huge amount to teams which are already at the top and already receiving massive amounts of money in terms of their prize earnings. Another thing that doesn't make sense to me in terms of historical bonuses is the fact that Mercedes is earning more than Ferrari when Ferrari have competed in every single Formula 1 season in history. That to me should warrant Ferrari as being the biggest earner of a historical bonus, and because it isn't, in terms of these statistics that I have with me, that's really strange. I don't think that Mercedes should be the biggest recipient of this historical bonus because Mercedes have not been in Formula 1 as long as Ferrari have. However, this does bring me on to Ferrari's historical bonus, which is, I think, a massive, massive issue. For Ferrari to be earning the most amount of money out of everyone in 2020 is absolutely despicable to me. Finishing 6th in the Constructors Championship should not warrant you to be at the top of all of the earnings over all of the other teams who have worked harder. I don't think that's fair. And it's basically just because Ferrari have been in Formula 1 for 70 years. For every single season, Ferrari have been here, and that's all the special bonus means. I think Formula 1 and Ferrari need to realise that they can exist without the other. If Formula 1 and Liberty Media, because they are in charge of all of the prize distribution, if they were to put money into another team, it would be massively, massively beneficial for the sport as a whole, and I think make it a lot fairer. That $50 million that Ferrari earned in terms of its special bonus could actually have been the prize money for an 11th team on the grid. Even without an 11th team, that 50 million would have been a brilliant amount of money to distribute between the lower teams, especially Williams, because they have been struggling so much. And it would have been much better in order to start bridging the gap between the backmarker teams in Williams, Haas and Alfa Romeo at the minute to the midfield, and potentially make that whole group of cars and group of teams much more competitive. There is a direct correlation between the amount of prize money that you get and where you finish and how well you do in the next season of Formula One. So even a couple more million for each of those teams at the bottom would be so beneficial and could make the world of difference in terms of their performances. Clearly the money that Ferrari is earning anyway isn't going to use, because they haven't won a championship since 2007 and they finished 6th in the Constructors in 2020. For me, this just creates a lack of incentive to continue with development and continue doing well. If you know that you're always going to be the recipient of the biggest prize pot at the end of a season, then what is incentivizing you to go ahead and develop and innovate in order to be able to challenge for those championships? There's nothing pushing you to do that. I believe that Liberty Media needs to give Ferrari a bit of an ultimatum and withdraw some of this money that Ferrari is consistently expecting to receive at the end of a season. Ferrari gets a percentage of whatever Liberty Media makes in total revenue over a year, and I think that this needs to be renegotiated to a lower percentage, if a percentage at all. Formula One and Ferrari are synonymous with each other, but they need to realise that they can exist without each other as well, and I think that Liberty Media is really afraid of losing Ferrari as a team and thinks that if Ferrari were to go, then it would kind of, start a downward spiral. Whereas I think the opposite. I think that it would free up a lot more money to be spent on other teams, and there might potentially be options for new manufacturers to enter the sport. I'm not saying Ferrari should leave the sport, but I genuinely believe that that money that Ferrari is getting as its special bonus could definitely be used elsewhere in more important aspects of our sport. So Liberty Media, it would be lovely if next year I would not see this giant sum of a special bonus going to Ferrari. However, I will not complain if their historical bonus goes bigger, but not too much bigger. But yeah, that is basically the end of the video. Turned into a little bit of a rant, but thank you if you kept with it. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of the prize distribution money system that Formula One operates, and let me know if you would change it and how you would if you could. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. It really helps me out. But yes, I will see you guys in the next one.